Okay, warriors, let's go ahead and sing our strings song.
Strings, strings, we like it, we love it, we want some more of it. S-T-R-I-N-G-S, strings.
Okay, you guys have been working so hard today on splitting with 3-digit numbers. And you rocked that lesson. You learned it, you practiced it, and now we're gonna apply it to something else. So as we know, in the real world, when we're out doing things, we have to do math and we have to know different strategies. So for number strings, I understand that normally you guys get to use any strategy that you want. Today, I want you to focus on splitting. Because we just learned it, I want you guys to practice that specific strategy, okay? Then tomorrow, when we move on to number strings tomorrow, you can use whatever strategy best fits your brain. Splitting might be one of those. Maybe not. Maybe there's something else that fits your brain better. But for today, I want you guys to practice splitting because that's what we just learned and I want you to practice it, okay? Question?
The strategy I made up is sort of like splitting, but it has money in it also.
Ooh, awesome. I would love to see that tomorrow when we do number strings again, because I love new strategies and learning new things. So keep that in mind, okay? So for today, though, what are we focusing on? Splitting. So before we start, who can tell me, just as a review, what splitting is? What is splitting? What is that strategy? Layla?
It's a strategy that helps you get even numbers to help you do it better, and like you split them into adding them, like you add the tens to the tens and the ones to the ones.
Okay, awesome. So I heard you say that you can split the numbers up and add the tens and the tens and the ones together. What happens if there's hundreds involved? What do you add the hundreds
to?
to?
Hundreds to the hundred.
Okay, awesome. Thumbs up if you understand what Leela's saying. Okay, great. So, for today's number strings, I have a really interesting story to tell you. Mr. Waldron and I had a party at our house last weekend, and before our friends came over, we had to shop, right? Because you have to get things ready and food prepped. And we went to the store and we spent $235 on our meat for the barbecue. Can you believe it? It's pretty expensive, but we had a lot of people over for the party. So we spent $235 at the store on meat. Then before we left, we remembered we have to get dessert. Because what's a party without dessert, right? So we went and we got a lot of different types of desserts because we know we have a lot of different people who have different tastes. And we ended up spending $153 on desserts.
Yeah,
How much money did Mr. Waldron and I spend at the store all together for our party? Think time. How much money did we spend all together?
Can you repeat the question?
Can I repeat it? Yes. So Mr. Waldron and I went to the grocery store to buy stuff for our party that we had last weekend. And we spent $235 on meat for the barbecue. And we spent $153 on desserts for our party. How much money did we spend total for our barbecue? Remember, you're trying out the splitting strategy.
Wait, is 10 blocks or is it number?
As a number string. Thumbs up when you have an answer. answers? Mariah.
388. Ow.
388. Any other answers? Anything different? Raise your hand if you have anything different than 388. Awesome. So referring to our number strings poster, when I say go, you're going to turn to your partner. You're going to tell them what you got. Now, what strategy did you use? Splitting, right? So you're going to tell them what you got, what strategy you used, and then I want you to explain how you solved it. Okay? All right, go.
Okay, so the 235 into 230 and 5. 153 into 100, 50 and 3. So then 200 plus 100 is 300. 100 plus 50 equals 80. Oh, 5 plus 3 equals 8. So 300 plus 80 equals 380 plus 8 plus 8 equals 388. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. For like 5 seconds.
So I had 235, 230, and 35, and 103 equals 150 and then I added 250 and 300. 30 plus 50 is 80. And 5 plus 3 is 8. 200 plus 300. Do you disagree or agree? Do you have any questions?
You guys get a chance to share? It's good.
And I got 5 plus 3 and that equals 3. And I got 388.
Eyes on me in 3, 2, 1. I heard some awesome conversations going on. I'm excited for you to come up and share. So I heard Maddie talking about some great things with Joshua, and I would love for you to come up and share with us your thoughts and your number string. Remember, we're slanting, facing the speaker.
So what I did is I split the 235 into 200 and 30 and then I split the 153 into 100. 50 and a 30. Then I started off with the ones because if that number was a 5 and you started with some other number, you would get the wrong answer. So I started with the ones, and 5 plus 3 equals 8. And then I do the 10s, and 50 plus 30 equals 80. And I added those two equals 88, so it's really fast now. And I added those and it equals 300. And 300 plus
Hello.
80.
Yes, because we're doing our video right now. We're in the middle of a lesson. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And it equals 388. Does anybody have a different strategy? I mean, like the same strategy.
Different explanation?
Yeah. Different explanation. Carly. Wait, Carly, you have another one.
Do you have a different different way of explaining it, Carly? Sure.
So I split these so that I can so I split the 235 into 235 and 153 to 153. And when you're doing splitting, you always have to start with the ones place. So, because if the tens place was bigger than the ones place, the ones place bigger than the tens place, you could take away a 10 and you could give it to the 1. So start with 5 plus 3, and that equals 8. Because if this equaled 10, you can't put two numbers, 2-digit numbers. So I don't have to regroup that. So I go to the next number and add the tens, and that equals 80. And 200 plus 100 equals 300. And 300 plus 80 equals 380. And 380 plus 8 equals 388.
Nice job, Carly. Thank you. Thank you to Madison and Carly for sharing their thoughts. And you can go have a seat. And we are going to...
The same question I asked Tina. How did you know it was addition? Because when Mrs. Waldron said all together, that means adding.
And totally. Ooh, I like that. So in case somebody didn't hear that, Cassie said, Carly, how did you know to add? And what was Carly's answer? Nice and loud. Carly? Can you repeat yourself?
Mrs. Waldron said that it was all together, and that means adding.
Yes. Great question, Cassie. All right, so as you can imagine, Mr. Waldron and I were really tired because we were hosting this big party. Can I have all eyes on me, please? Sitting up, slanting. Juliana, can you please sit up for me? Thank you. So we were very tired, but we still had another day of the weekend left, and we decided to go to San Francisco. I know. We decided to go to San Francisco to do some sightseeing and relaxing and maybe have a picnic. And so on our way to San Francisco, we drove 361 miles to get there. It was really far away. We had to drive really far, but it was worth it because it was going to be a fun day. So we drove 361 miles to San Francisco. And then once we were in San Francisco, we drove around a lot because there's so many great things to see. We ended up driving 128 miles around in the city. So it took us 361 miles to get there. And then once we were there, we drove around 128 miles. So how many miles did Mr. Waldron and I drive all together? How many miles did we drive all together? Think time. Oh, thank you for saying that, Devin. Yes, we are using our splitting strategy. Answers? Josh, what? 400 and what, sweetheart? 489. Did anybody get something different? Sophia?
480.
480. Anybody else get something different? All right. When I say go, you're going to turn to your partner. You're going to tell them, what did you get? What strategy did you use? And explain how you solved it. Go.
My answer is 489 and I'm splitting. So I split 361 into 361 and then I also split 148 into 128.
Wait. You split 180 to 128. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So, and then I added 8 plus 1 is 9, so I kept the 9 in my head.
89.
And then 60 plus 20 is 80, yeah. And then 300 plus 100 is 400. And then I put those numbers together and it equals 489.
Mine is 489, and I use splitting. First, I split the 261 to 360 and 1. Then the 129 to 120, I was 128 and 120 and 8. So I did 300 plus 100 equals 400, 60 plus 20 equals 80, and 1 plus 9 equals, and 1 plus 8 equals 9. So then it's 489.
Do you have any? What's wrong?
I got to show the other time.
Okay. Okay, but as a group of 3, we have to take turns. Okay, well, I'm going to call on you to come share with the class, so I want you to make sure that you're ready.
This is Waldron. What happened is Mariah said that she was going first, but the first time she went first, the second time I went first, and now Sarah wants to go first. But Mariah said that she's going because she didn't get a turn in Sarah.
Okay, well, sometimes with a group of 3, we only have time for 2. Okay.
Because she barely got to talk, but she got to talk last time.
And you got to talk too.
All right, eyes on me in 3, 2, 1. Again, I heard some great conversations going on. Does anybody want to change their answer now that we discussed with a partner? Sophia?
I want to change my answer to 489.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Sarah, I'd love for you to come up and share with us how you did splitting. Would you mind coming up and sharing? Okay.
Well, so I split the 361 into 360 and 1. and then 128 into 128. And I added the 1 to the 8, and that was 9. And the 60 to the 20, and that was 80. And then a 300 to the 100, that was 400. And 400 plus 80 plus 9 equaled 489.
Okay. Great job, Sarah. Does anybody have a different way of explaining it? Candice, thank you for tracking the speaker.
Okay, so I split the 361 into 360 and 1, and the 128 into 120 and 8, and then I did I did 8 plus 1 equals 9. 20 plus 60 equals 80. And 100 plus 300 equals 400. And then I did 400 plus 80 equals 480. 480 plus 9 equals 489.
Thank you, Sloane. Awesome job. All right, boys and girls. Great job on practicing your splitting strategy. I'm excited to see if this is something that is going to be something that you use in the future. How many of you feel that this strategy works really well with your brain? How many of you think, I could use probably a little bit more practice, but I might try to use it in the future? Okay, great. There's always room for that growth and us practicing more and more with number strings. And also, where else can we practice this stuff?
At home.
At home and where else?
Homework. On the internet.
I mean, about the internet, but you said homework. Yes, homework. But more importantly than homework, where can we use this?
School.
Still looking for something else.
Whiteboard.
You said life. Sarah, in our everyday lives. At the store, at Kumon, okay, or there, that's fine. But it's important that these strategies we practice all the time so that we get comfortable with them. So give yourselves a round of applause today. You guys did great. All right.